Okay, well, on the review of step number 25. This one's called Joel Salatin on Nature Laughing Last, the Respective Seasons and the Terrible Twos, the Natural Cycles That Dictate Your Life. And this one focuses primarily on the fact that not only are there seasons in the world, spring, summer, fall, winter, but on a microcosmic level, there's seasons to you live in the good life, health, wealth, love, and happiness. And Ty explains a story of when he was an apprentice on Joel Salatin's farm in Virginia, and a storm came through and dumped a foot of rain overnight, and it washed away a bridge on the farm that was only access to and from the farm. So it was so severe that it stopped all operations at that moment. And Ty said that that was the only time he's ever seen Joel Salatin depressed or overwhelmed. And Ty asked Joel, what are we going to do about this situation? And Joel said, don't forget, nature laughs last. And the best laid plans that you and I can make for our own lives are subject to the laws of nature. And we're reminded of Sigmund Freud's 3 sources of pain that we'll experience in life. The first is decay and death of the physical body. The second, which pertains to this lesson, is forces of nature, in this case floods knocking out bridges. And the third and most common one is interpersonal relationships with other humans. And certainly it's necessary to have plans, but the reason most of us go through life surprised and in pain is because we didn't realize on day one that this game isn't about us. There's kind of 2 plans going on with life. There's nature and the universe doing whatever it wants to do, and there's people doing whatever they want to do. So there's conflict. And another way I have heard it being said is through a Dan Pena seminar where he says, you plan, God laughs. And Joe quickly realized this fact, that the bridge was supposed to be washed away because he's part of a world that's bigger than himself. And the key takeaway for me in this is really the inner yes to what is. Because like in a book I read by Eckhart Tolle called The Power of Now, he explains that most of the world goes on inside of your head. And you cause yourself pain to the degree that you argue with reality. So maybe Joel's read that book, maybe he's just a very insightful person, but he knew this fact and he didn't complain for too long. He just accepted the fact that this bridge was supposed to get washed away and moved on and built another bridge. And back to the part about you having plans and nature having plans, Ty explains that his first business, his goal was, when he was a kid, his goal was to make $1 million. And he thought, with billions of people in this world, if everyone gives me $1, they won't miss it, and pretty soon I'll have a lot of money. But the problem with that is everybody thinks that way, so it never quite works out. And he calls this an egocentric business plan, because it's under the presumption that you are the center of the universe, and we are not. And he explains that business is a lot like a newborn child. And, the newborn child, the business, keeps you awake at night the first year or 2. And it requires a huge upfront cost in both money, sleep deprivation, time. But if you stick through the nightmarish part, eventually that child will mature, that business will mature, and it will take care of you. And we're reminded that businesses grow slowly. Even if you're someone like Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, Bill Gates took 19 years to become a billionaire. And Warren Buffett took even longer, 50 years to become a billionaire. And you and I are probably talented in our own areas, but we're not prodigies like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. So things take time. Most things in life progress slowly. And Ty says there's a lot of entrepreneurs that come up to him that say, hey, I have this business venture I started and it's a year old. How come it's not taking care of me? Why isn't it flourishing? And Ty says, your business is an infant. This is normal. And certainly we all want shortcuts to life, shortcuts to our goals. This 67 steps is the closest thing to a shortcut you're ever going to get, but you still have to go through the dark period. And Ty explains that there's seasons to life: spring, summer, fall, winter. And a lot of the celebrities you see on TV and in other media sources are in the harvest period of their life, the fall, and they aren't in spring, summer, or winter. And no matter what business you're in, even if you buy a business, you're still starting off in winter, because you're still learning. Nothing's really happening in winter, and then spring comes and you start planning and developing. Eventually summer comes, the period oftentimes of most activity, particularly as it regards to the health pillar. You're moving around the most, losing the most weight, getting in the best shape. But then fall comes and you get to reap the benefits of your efforts and reap the harvest. And the good news is, if you stay in long enough, fall always comes. And realize that cycles are nature's way of giving ecology what it needs. It's necessary to have seasons. You can't always be growing. That unchecked growth is called cancer. And this is a really good lesson to learn the easy way. You don't want to learn from the meanest teacher of all, and that's Mother Nature. Mother Nature is truly undefeated. It's never lost to anyone, and it probably never will. So the key thing I've learned is to cooperate with what is and say yes to it. And that is called learning things the easy way. So just like with all these other lessons, there's questions at the end that unlock the next lesson. And in this one, the questions were: pick a winter in your life, and knowing what you know now, what should you have done differently? Ditto for spring, summer, and fall. Where are you right now? What season? And what are you going to do to handle it less egocentrically? Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on lesson number 26. Take care.